this is Tammy. Excuse me. This is a different kind of a video. This is going to be like a craft with me video. I'm not calling it a tutorial because this is the first time I've done this and I don't really know what I'm doing, so we'll see. But I'm going to finish my strawberry, my Erica Michael strawberry. I stitched to this one in this video. I've already finished it, but after I show it to you, then you will see how I made it. So here is my finished strawberry. This is it. The top, in my opinion, leaves a little bit to be desired. It's not perfect. And then one of the things I forgot to do at the end is I have these pins from Just Another Button Company, and I'm gonna like stick that in there because the colors match. And then when you display this, you can display it laying down or hanging. I don't think mine's gonna hang, so I might cut this off and just have a little foofy at the top. But so this is what my strawberry looks like. All the way around. And its point is a little bent, but it's stuffed well. You stuff the point with a piece of yarn. Oops. So here we go. Let me know at the end what you think, and thank you so much for watching. So here are the supplies that we need. I have the pattern. This is Erica Michael's English Sampler Berries, and I did this one right here. This is my stitched piece. And for the top of the berry, I'm going to need some felt. And I have this wool felt that I got from Primrose Cottage Stitches. It's a wool scrap bundle. And these colors are perfect for this, but I need to find a source for other colors because these are not my kinds of colors. They do work with the colors that are in this berry. I looked at my local needle workshop and it's down underneath the table where I'd have to get on my knees, and I can't do that, so I want to find an online source. So I'll be looking for that sometime soon. And then the other thing that you need is iron-on interfacing. And you want it to be very thin, which is what this is. I'm not sure which one this is. It's called Apparel and Craft Fusible Interfacing Fusible Sheer Weight. It's very thin. And part of why you're doing that, you're putting it on the back of your stitching so that when you're stuffing it, you're protecting the stitching. And also if you had kind of a loose woven fabric like a linen or something, you wouldn't, if you were going to put any lizard litter or walnut shells in there, you wouldn't want them to come out through the weaving. So what I'm going to do is put the interfacing on here and then come back for the next step. I'll show you in the pattern. It comes with finishing instructions, written instructions. And I also did watch Erica Michael's video that she did. I took a class, and there's a video on her website. And in her pattern, in every berry pattern, it comes with these templates. This is the interfacing template, and this is for the topper. So I'll show you what I'm going to do with those. But the first thing I'm going to do is, let's see, I'll show you what I've done so far. This is 32 count even weave. These templates, there's 4 different sizes here. One is for 14/28, one's for 16 and 32, one is for and the smallest one is for 40 count. So it's made for 28, 32, 36, and 40, but if you're using 14 count, 18 count, or 16 count, it works for that also. So the first thing I did was make a copy of this, and I cut these out and wrote on them which size they're for. So actually I made 4 copies and I cut out all 4 pieces, so I'm going to keep these as templates with my patterns. And then what you do with this is you fold your interfacing, choose the right template. I need this one. And I'm going to lay this on the fold of the interfacing, and it will cut out a shape like this. This is paper, but I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to iron that on this, and then I'll be back. I am not set up to film those kinds of things, and in fact my video, the thing I usually use for my overhead videos, doesn't work with a new phone that I have, so I'm doing it different, which is why it's a really weird angle. I'm hoping to fix that sometime soon. So I'm going to do that, and then I'll be back. Okay, I have added the interfacing to the back. I cut it in the shape. It's probably kind of hard to see because it's very sheer, but I cut it into the shape with the template. I ironed it on the back, and then I cut all around with a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I just did that freehand because I'm going to sew, so you could use your rotary cutter. Please excuse my fingernails, they need to be fixed. But so this is ready to stitch together. So the next thing I'm going to do is fold this and stitch. I'm going to stitch up this line, and the interfacing, you don't want to stitch through the interfacing, so it is your guide for where you're stitching. And then when I come back, I will have a cone. So here's my cone. Stitching is on the inside. I'm going to trim my corner, and I'm going to trim my seam allowance a little bit, just because 1/2 inch is really big, I feel like. And then you want to press it open, but not with the iron, because if I were to take this to my iron and press it, it would press my whole shape flat, and that is not what I want. So I'm just going to finger press this. So it's open, and I can use this to kind of help it too. This is my bone folder for card making. And then I'm going to turn it inside out. And to get my point down there, I'm using my bone folder. I want it to be pointed. There are other tools, which I might, if I can think where they are. I have some tools I bought from by Annie that are for stuff like this too. Because I might want that to go out a little bit better. We'll see. Anyway, so I need to go get my stuffing. I'm going to use polyfill. I also, before I start stuffing, I'm going to stitch a gather around the top. So I'll go get my supplies for that. And I'm going to press the seam open some more on the inside. This strawberry is going to be smaller than I kind of thought it was from my stitched piece. That's not really big, because we're going to gather up the top. So I like things that are little. This will be fun. I have some button and carpet thread. This is from Hobby Lobby. It's called Zoology. I use button and carpet thread because it's nice and thick, and I know it's not going to break. And I can do it with a single strand. I don't need a double strand. So that's, I cut off a piece of that. I'm going to pull out a needle and thread my needle. Ah, got it in the first time. That's unusual for me. And then I'll knot the end. And I'm going to start, and you probably can't see this. I can't tell if you can see it. I'm going to stitch right above the interfacing. And I'm just going to do a running stitch all the way around. This is really easy. This is the same kind of a stitch you would use if you were finishing a round cross stitch piece. And the stitches should be somewhat similar in size, but they don't have to be perfect because it's going to be gathered and you won't be able to see them. You could use a longer needle. I just grabbed the needle that I used for the last round thing I finished. Feel free to fast forward through this part. I'm over halfway done, so I'm not going to stop the video. This is my first strawberry, so I'm sharing with you how it's made, and I'm going to be just as curious as you are to see how it looks when it's done. Because stuffing is not one of my favorite things to do. I find it hard to get even and perfect when you're stuffing something. It will help that we have interfacing. It should stabilize the fabric and kind of stop it from bulging, hopefully. We'll see. And now my interfacing that I ironed on is coming off, but it's just at the edge. There's nothing I can do about it now. I don't know if I didn't iron long enough, or this is very coarsely woven fabric because it's a 32 count even weave. It might be I don't have the right kind of interfacing for this, but we shall see. So there is that. And now I'm ready to start stuffing. I'm not going to gather yet, but I'm going to be careful because my interfacing did come up along the edge. So the first thing to do with this, from what I understand, the points are the hardest part to get them to work right. And I'm going to see if I can, that's better. I just took a pen that's not poked. So when I watched her video, she suggested putting some yarn in the bottom, and part of that, the reason for that is the yarn will stay better than the stuffing if you want to keep your point on your strawberry. We'll see. And it supposedly doesn't really matter how long your piece of yarn is. So I'm going to stick that in there. I'm trying to leave I want to get my needle out of my way, so I'm going to stick it right here. Ouch. So it's pointing to the back. So I've stuck my yarn in there, and now I'm going to poke it down in. It's catching on this thing, so it's coming back out, but I'll use this. So I'm stuffing my yarn down into the bottom. That's where I'm starting. And then I have, hard to see, this is polyfill that I got, I'm sure, at a Hobby Lobby. You get a big bag for almost no money. One of the things, what is that? Huh, inside the bag is a tool. I forgot that. This is a stuffing, it looks like a little chopstick. A stuffing tool. So when you're working with polyfill, I just grabbed a bunch, and I just found this recently. In order for it to stuff the best way, you need to pull it apart, not just grab a handful. I used to just grab a big handful and start stuffing, but it works best if you're pulling it all apart. I don't remember what the reason was, but it gives you the best results. And then I'm gonna stuff it down in there. do some more pulling it apart. I think what it's doing is it's taking it from being clumping and making it, it'll make it stuff more evenly. So I'll keep pushing that down in there. And at some point here soon, it will be time to gather it up some and then keep stuffing. And can you see how it keeps compacting down some, and the more compacted it is, the better it is. It's going to make your strawberry really nice and firm. And I've stuffed things, like I've done all different kinds of craft projects where you stuff, and getting it really firm is always the key and the challenge, because when you get to the top on this one with this big open top, that's where you get a little bit challenged. So right now I'm going to gather it up a little bit. So in order to do that, I'm going to pull both ends. I'm going to get rid of my needle. Oh, well, I'm going to keep, yeah. So here's my knot. I'm going to pull this, and I'm going to do what my mom used to call a surgeon's knot, and that is just, I don't know if that's what it really is, that's what she called it. So I'm wrapping it around here twice, and it makes it hold on better. So it'll keep its spot. And then I'm going to do this. It's looking like a strawberry. Pretty cool. It's really lightweight. I didn't want to put any lizard litter in this time because this is my first time. I don't need to add a complication, but I like what lizard litter does where it adds weight to it, and this is going to have no weight. So let's see, where's my threads? Pull a little bit more. I'm going to put some more stuffing in there. I want my top to be nice and firm. I'm curious how many of these I could get out of a bag of polyfill. My polyfill I've been using for quite a while. I made a bunch of gnomes with it, and it's still at least 3/4 there. Get you down in there. And my gathering didn't keep, so now when I think her name is Linda, who's Erica Michaels Designs, when she showed how to do this, you don't close it all the way. So I'm going to tie it off right here, and that'll allow me to finish, to keep going and finish. Let's see, this is on the inside, so I'm going to pull it like that, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to wrap this around twice. And one more time for good measure. I'm not going to cut these really short because I want to stuff them inside. So then this goes like this. And I'm going to stuff some more in there. It actually is pretty cool like that. Looks like a strawberry, but I know it's supposed to be more stuffed at the top to try to stuff out some of these gathers, fluff them out. I'm sure I'm not doing this perfect, partially because it's my first time. And I did watch somebody do it, but really it's just stuffing. So it doesn't need to be perfect anyway. It's my own, and I'm the only one that has to be happy with it. If somebody else doesn't like it, that's their problem. Unless I'm giving it to them for a gift, and then I guess it would be my problem. A little bit more. It's amazing how much you can keep. You can just keep adding more and keep adding more and keep adding more. So I want my top to be more even. And so I'm going to stop there for now. And with my felt, I think I might be done with that, but I'm not sure. With my felt for the top, I think, what do I want to do? This has burgundy, brown, blue, and yellow in it, or gold. So I have this color. It's all the colors that I have right here, which is why I chose this. So I think I'm going to take this one. Yeah. And this one. And I'm going to use this one to do the scallop. And I'm going to make leaves out of this one. So, let's see. You want your scallop big enough to like lay over the top. So I want mine to be like at least 3 inches. So if I take this and cut 3.5 inches, so 3.5. 3.5. I'm going to be sure I have enough to work with. And this is a plaid, so I can cut on the line, which is kind of nice. So there's that. I want to make a circle out of this. This might not work at all, we'll see. Totally freehand. I'm just doing my own thing. So it's going to be probably totally not. My dog's going to bark. It'll be totally weird looking when I'm done. So I might start over. We'll see. It's not totally round, but that's okay. It's going to go on here. And it is a good size. And you won't be able to tell that it's not totally round. And the next thing I'm going to do is to take this and cut some leaf pieces. And I like the design in this because it's going to be like the grain of the leaves. So I'm just going to go like this. Leaves are not perfect. So there's a leaf. I'm going to want a bigger leaf. I like to do things in 3s. These scissors are kind of big, but they cut fabric nicely. And one more. This felt cuts really nice. And I need a button, so I will be back. Okay, this is my button. I have a piece of cream ribbon. I have my threads. I'm going to use, these are the threads that I used for my project. I'm going to use the burgundy. And how much do I want? I think I'm going to pull out 3 strands. See if that's enough. Crud, lost my needle, just a second. Okay, got my needle. And I want one more strand, and hopefully I can thread all 3 of these in this needle together. Come on, don't do that. Where'd it go? Okay. So there's 1. There's 2. There's 3. I'm going to see if I can get all 3 of these in this cross stitch needle. And I might be sorry, I might want a sharp needle, but getting all 3 of these in a sharp needle would be harder. These needles have a little bit of a point to them. Got it. So, I'm going to tie this on the end. Make sure it's even. Tie it on the end. Is that what I wanted to do? I hope that's what I wanted to do. And I'm going to lay this how I want it. So there's my leaves. I'm going to put this here. My 3rd leaf needs to go like this. This here. And I'm going to hopefully stitch through all these pieces. Trying to find the other side is sometimes difficult. So did I get them all? I'm going to do that again. One more time. And then, I kind of wish that was a little bit longer, but that's okay. Then I'm going to take these and tie them together. So when you're all done, if you wanted to hang this, it has a hanger on it. So the next thing to do, and these are all, they're all stitched in there. That's cool. So the next thing I want is some thread that matches this blue. And I think I'm going to use 2 strands for this. So I'll just do one long one. Is that how I want to do that? You know, I want a longer needle. This needle isn't going to work for that. So I have these really long needles, and I think I want to use one of them. And you'll see why in a second. Yeah, I might want the... Are they all the same? This one seems a little thinner. I want the thinner one, just to make it easier. Sorry for the big mess I have going here. And I'm going to pull out another one. And then I'm going to take these two. I'm going to thread this. Oh, I will need my ends to be the same. And they're not. They're still not the same. But they're close enough now. Okay. So I'm going to start by putting a knot in this end. Now this part's an experiment and it's all from memory. I'm going to take this and decide how we want the this to be. And before I start, I'm going to go up here and because I want my knot to be on the inside. And then what we're going to do is take a little stitch, and I'm going to go to the next scallop. I'm going to go under there. So we're stitching this down on each of the little scalloped edges. Kind of tacking it down. I don't need to pull it really tight. Oops. But this is going to hold our cap on our strawberry. So I'm coming up behind where I want to go down over the top. Then go down. And my next one is right at the seam, so come up back there. I'm hoping I'm holding this so you can see it because my camera is at a weird angle. It's hard for me to see. Oh, I need to come up behind there. It's going to be embarrassing if I get to the end of this and it looks like crap, but that is the danger of doing something like this live. Well, I'm not live, but you know, doing it for the first time on camera. That's just the way it goes. Where's your, there. this out of the way. I should have started at the back. I think I kind of started it towards the front. But again, first time. And this is where I started. So I'm going to do one more. How do I want to do that? I'm going to come up right there. So my top is a little not really centered, but that's okay because it's going to be laying, it'll lay like this. And then I'm going to go back down, and I want to go all the way to the back. All the way to the back. Coming out underneath there. And then I'm going to tie this off. So to tie it off, I'm going to take a couple of stitches. I'm going to do this a couple of times. Come on. Not sure what happened there. Yeah, I'm really not sure what happened there. That is weird. Instead of doing the loop like it was supposed to let me, it tied itself in a knot. So I'm going to use that to kind of tie it under there. So it'll stay under there. And then I can snip it off. Now, I'm not totally happy with this. I think it's the top looks a little weird. But this is my completed strawberry. This is what it looks like from the front. Maybe I need to alter my leaf a little bit. Make him a little smaller. Oh, this leaf didn't actually get attached. So, to fix that, I'll take some green, this ugly dark green. Really? It does not want to cooperate with me. There. There. So, this leaf didn't get stuck in there. it's just sort of hanging out. So I'm going to take a little bite here. I made him a funky shape. That's better. So I took a little bite there. Get this out of my way. I'm gonna stick him under there. And right there. Stay right there. So this is stitching it onto the blue piece. Really? No, they're not. I don't know what that noise was. Okay, and then I'm going to take a little bit of fabric glue and I'm going to glue that down there. So, this is my completed strawberry. Let me know what you think. It's fairly easy to put together. The top can get a little bit fiddly. I didn't realize how this felt kind of likes to fray a little bit, but people use wool felt for this. You could use craft felt and then that would not happen. But this is my completed strawberry. So thanks so much for watching and have a great day.